3 habits killing your cold call results. If you're someone who feels like you get off to awkward starts at the outset of your cold calls where the prospect is immediately defensive and pushing you away, this is the video for you. If you know me, you know I preach less is more, so these are actually 3 habits I want you to eliminate entirely because they're what's causing this defensive tone, which is really hard to overcome once the call starts that way. So the first most common habit causing this is asking for permission at the outset of a call. It sounds something like, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? Or, hey, do you have 30 seconds for me to tell you why I'm calling? The reason I don't like this is because it's not confident prospecting and it gives the prospect an easy out. It makes it easy for them to say, yeah, you did catch me at a bad time, or no, I don't have 30 seconds for you to tell me why I'm calling. What's this about? And while they may not hang up, that defensive tone is an objection in itself and something you have to overcome, and it's really hard if the call starts off that way. An analogy I use for why you don't have to ask for permission is, let's say you're a prominent business person, call it Mark Cuban or Jeff Bezos, insert prominent business person, and they had a really good idea and they were going to call someone on it. Do you think Mark Cuban picks up the phone and calls someone and says, hey, do you have 30 seconds for me to tell you why I'm calling, and then you can decide whether you want to continue the conversation? No. He would say, hey, I got a good business idea. When are you free to discuss? With that assumptive tone. So while, yeah, we're not Mark Cuban, we're not Jeff Bezos, that doesn't mean we can't learn from them and use the same tone that they would use, because it's all about the tone. We want that assumptive tone. So if you are someone that can actually help the person you're calling, you don't need to ask their permission to continue talking. The act of picking up the phone on their end signals that they have time to talk. You don't need to ask. Number 2 is confirming whether you're speaking to the correct person or whether the data is accurate. It sounds something like, hey, am I speaking with John Smith? Or, hey, am I speaking with John Smith and are you the VP of HR at so-and-so company? The reason I don't think this is necessary is because it actually puts the prospect on the defensive whether you realize it or not. Picture yourself on your workday grinding, doing your thing, you get a call from a number you don't have, and in my case, let's say I answer and they say, hey, am I speaking with Connor Murray? I don't know about you, but I would be like, yeah. I'd get kind of defensive because now I know I don't know this person and they probably want something. That would be the first thought in my head. So I say, don't ask whether it's them. I get that the CRM data is not always accurate, but you're going to find out anyway. So let's say you call John Smith and you say, hey, John, this is Connor Murray, call from X company. How you doing? If it's not John Smith, the person's probably going to say something like, hey, doing good, but who do you think you're calling right now? My name's Henry. I thought I heard you say John. Or if it's not the right title, you're going to find out anyway, so you don't need to risk putting your prospect on the defensive by starting your call saying, hey, am I speaking with John Smith right now? Don't need to do that because it's going to cause them to get defensive right out of the gate. Third most common habit is trying to be too polite or trying to make small talk at the outset of the call. I know it's taught in sales a lot that people buy from people they like, but the small talk is actually causing the prospect to get rude and defensive. So an example, it can be something as simple as, hey, this is Connor Murray calling from X company. How's your day going today? Where you're like actually asking them how your day is going. I know you're trying to be polite, but you're actually being a little disrespectful, even though you're not trying to be, because again, picture that scenario. You just interrupted someone's workday. They're busy, and you're just assuming that you can talk to them about how their day is going. Like, yeah, you're not busy. You don't have a day job. You have time for me to tell you how your day is going. So while I can think, how are you? Why I do think how are you or how's your day going can be effective, you don't want to signal it with that upward inflection like, how's your day going today? Or how's it going today? You more want to say, hey, this is Connor Murray calling from X company. How's it going? Or how you doing? Or how are you today? You want to signal that downward inflection. That's not small talk, but asking, how are you today? With that upward inflection, that will cause the prospect to get a little rude. And they're not even rude usually, they're just busy. And now they're like, I don't have time to talk to you all day about how my day is going. So eliminate those 3 things. And one more time, what I like to do instead is just say, hey, Jem, this is Connor Murray calling from X company. How you doing? 9 times out of 10, they're just going to give you a one-word response back. If you say it with that downward inflection, they're just going to say, good, how are you? They might even sound a little confused, but that's okay. We just want the formality, and then I'm going to say, good, I'm just reaching out because, and then I can go right into my talk track and avoid all the defensive tone, all that nonsense at the beginning of the call. I just want to neutralize it, get that formality, and go right into why I'm calling. So let me know if you're doing any of these habits. Try catching yourself and eliminating these. I'm actually asking you to do less here because it's causing those defensive tones. So let me know if these relate to you, if you're doing any of these. Let me know if you try eliminating them, how it goes, and hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.